Can I surrender to where God has me today? The accusation, the self-judgment, the criticism, the mom guilt comes in and it says, who you are isn't enough. What you're doing is either not enough or too much. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I just wanted to talk about kind of different dynamics of boundaries and priorities and things that I've just been sorting through as a mom of two and stay-at-home mom. And I think at times I even could recognize judgment coming up in my own heart towards myself of like, am I not being with my kids enough or focusing on myself too much? And I realized as these thoughts come up with judgments towards myself, I probably put that on other people without even realizing it. So I've even just prayed that the Lord would bring up the agreements that I've made, the judgments that I've made, the lies that I've even had that limit myself, because really the lies that we believe, the lies that I make an agreement with of judgments hold me back. And when something comes up in my heart like, oh, I'd love to write a book, and I think about doing it, I'll instantly shut it down and I'll shame it in my own mind and come up with reasons even to self-sabotage because I haven't given myself permission to do that. And why would I want to do something that I would then judge myself for and criticize myself for in heart? And my husband, oh bless him, he's so good at calling that out in me. He's so good at saying like, you have a limiting belief actually that's keeping you from stepping into what God's called you to. Even my husband saying like, hey, you want to influence people, but you have judgments against social media. Are you going to judge yourself if God calls you to get on that platform, if God calls you to post consistently on social media? My point in sharing all this is, yes, you're a mom. Yes, you're a stay-at-home mom. Yes, you're a career mom. Whatever kind of mom God has designed you to be. What does it look like for you to give him your yes? Maybe it's a yes to writing a book. Maybe it's a yes to starting a business. Maybe it's a yes to being fully at home with your kids and not having a nanny and not having help and supporting your husband as he goes to school. Or maybe it's your yes to go to school and letting go of the guilt and the shame that you feel of having somebody help with your kids, Like it's all across the board, but it's all the same thing. The accusation, the self-judgment, the criticism, the mom guilt comes in and it says, who you are isn't enough. What you're doing is either not enough or too much. You're not loving your kids well enough. The fear comes in. I know the fear comes in for me. Am I not giving them enough of my time? Like I said, am I making decisions based around my needs? I have such a desire to cultivate a healthy family and connection and to build and to invest in my kids that I have a fear that comes up of, am I being intentional enough? Am I fully present with them? Am I distracted? Am I giving somebody else my yes that isn't building anything in the future? Like, am I squandering? Am I giving my pearls to the swine? Like the word says, like, don't cast your pearls before swine. And I feel like healthy boundaries and knowing what God has called us to, knowing the yes that he's asked us to, what he's asked us to do in this season, focusing on what God has called you to, not what God has called her to, not what God has called your sister to, not the season that your mom is in, not the season the other moms at church are in. Like, what has God called you to do? What is your yes in this season? I remember when I was living in Southern California with my husband, I didn't have any kids yet, and I was just kind of going over in my heart, wanting to trust God to put me where I was supposed to be, but also wondering, what has God called me to in this season? What is my yes right now? And I remember I was in my apartment and I was washing the dishes, and I'd kind of been questioning and thinking in my heart of the different prophetic words I'd gotten throughout my life, the different, visions and dreams and desires that I've carried of getting to do ministry or speaking or writing books, different things since I was a young girl that I've really wanted to do. Also knowing none of that stuff is in front of me right now. I'm helping run a gym, have a $10 an hour job to pay the bills and to pay down our credit cards. Right now, the goal is to get out of debt. Right now, the goal is to have a place to live and to have food on the table. And I remember I was in the kitchen and I just felt the Lord whispered to my heart, I have found you being faithful. And it was exactly what I needed to hear. I just started crying in the kitchen because when he said that, it helped me understand that he knew exactly where I was. It's not like he had put me on the shelf and forgotten about me, or he was like, oh yeah, Kaylee, she's over there in California. Let me go find her, or let me sift through all this stuff. Where did she go? Is she over there? Is she over there? It's like, no, he knows exactly where I am. He knows I'm in my kitchen cleaning dishes right now. If he wants to put me on a platform, if he wants me to speak or to preach at this event or do this thing or minister in this church, he knows exactly where I am. He's found me. He knows the place, the location that I am standing in. And for him to say, I've found you being faithful, he's saying, I know where you're at. And when you're being faithful to what God's put in front of you, he'll put you where he wants you. The question isn't, can God put me where I'm supposed to be? Like, can I do this thing? Am I going to end up where I'm supposed to go? The question is, what are you doing with where he's put you today? How are you being faithful with the place that God has set you in this moment, in this season? What is your yes to him right now? Because if he can trust you being faithful with the little things, if he can trust you with your yes to keeping your home clean, to doing the dishes, to communicating hurts and offenses to your friends or to your husband, if he can trust you to clean up after the dogs, like if he can trust you with the little things, oh man, come on, you guys. If he can trust us to be faithful with the little things, if in the little things he can test and prove our hearts, he wants to place us in the other areas. He wants to give us the desires of our heart more than we even want them. They're his dreams over us. He has created us with a purpose, with a plan, with an intent, an intention. And there is a place that he is taking us. But we have to say yes to where we're at today. Taking it back to motherhood. I think a lot of motherhood, even for me, is, can I surrender to where God has me today? If my life is laundry and dishes and wiping butts and making food and figuring out a healthy meal recipe and plan for my family, can I do that with everything in me? Can I say yes and be faithful to what's in front of me? If God's calling me to take care of myself, if he's calling me to work through emotional eating and to stop binging and to stop stress eating, if he's calling me to deal with the things that he's bringing up in my heart and surrender them before him, he's doing it with a purpose and a plan and an intention in the future. He's looking from 10 years from now and saying, baby girl, you've got to get this. Baby girl, I have so much more for you, but I need your faithfulness. I need your yes in this season. I need you to learn how to communicate. I need you to learn how to be wholehearted in your vulnerability with your spouse. I need you to learn how to be a servant to your family, because 10 years from now, when you're doing that thing, you actually need to know this. You need to know how to do this. You need to know how to communicate. You need to know how to serve. You need to know how to write or to learn or to listen. Like, that was a skill I felt like even in a season, God called me to develop my skill of asking questions and listening, and not listening to all the thoughts in my own head and valuing what I had to say and interrupting other people, but to actually quiet myself and to get into their world and to listen and to ask them good questions. So anyways, can God say to you, I have found you being faithful? I'm thinking of that verse, whatever you do, do it as unto the Lord. I'm preaching to myself. Am I serving my family as unto the Lord? Am I going to my job as unto the Lord? Am I sweeping? I remember working in a coffee shop in high school and sweeping the floors of the diner. I'd go back and forth in between making coffee and working in the diner. And God challenging me back then, am I sweeping these floors like they're mine? Am I cleaning these tables like it's in my house? Am I doing a job of excellence as unto him, regardless of what my boss thinks or sees? Am I doing what's in front of me? Am I giving God my yes in this season? Am I giving God my yes to cleaning these floors, to cleaning these dishes? Am I giving God my yes in whatever it is that you're doing, in your finances? Like, am I giving God my yes and stewarding my money well? So this is to encourage you guys. God is shaping us through motherhood. He's shaping us through our babies. And there is a cost. There is a cost to our yes. There's a cost to giving God our yes and being faithful. But there's also a reward. He is a rewarder of those who seek him. He's a rewarder of those who are faithful. He's a good father. He's the potter and we're the clay. And he uses our life circumstances. He uses the challenges of mothering our babies. He uses the challenges of our careers and our jobs to transform us into his likeness. So I hope this video blesses you guys. So Father, I thank you for everyone watching this video, Lord, and I pray that you would anoint their yes, that they would have a clear understanding of what it is that you have called them to in this season, what is before them, Lord, and I pray that you would give them the grace to be faithful in the little things and to do it as unto you, Lord, that it would be out of an overflow of passion in their heart that they get to do this job with Jesus. They get to fold this laundry with you and unto you, Lord, that they get to go to this business meeting with you and as unto you. I pray that we would feel your presence throughout the day-to-day stuff, God, that we would connect with you in the faithfulness of life. God, I just pray for that grace in Jesus' name. Amen. Bless you guys. I'll see you next time.